Hi, I'm RobCosman. Welcome to my shop. I live in New Brunswick, Eastern Canada. We have lots of maple. We have lots of birdseye. So it's been probably 15 years ago. I got these two Birdseye Maple logs from a guy. I can't fill you in on all those details, but I had to listen to him for 5 hours, go on. And finally he only asked me for $40, so I guess it was a good deal. Now, if you come in close, I'll show you. These are Birdseye logs, and I thought it'd be fun to cut them open on camera. If you see these are the Birdseyes. And actually that telegraphs right through to the bark, so you don't have to do anything other than be able to know what you're looking at. And you can see it on the bark. This one's even easier to see. See all those eyes? This actually should have some good birdseye in it. Now, if you look up here, these are the birdseyes. You can see them radiating, and they come out from the center. So this is an eye, this is an eye, this is an eye. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to cut your stalk this way in order to get really good birdseye, or see it. If you get it too much on an angle, then you just get this long, it looks like a medullary ray. So I can go cut the small one because it's a little easier to manage. I'll get this monster out of the way. I'm going to use my new to me Poitra 24-inch bandsaw, and I've got a 12-inch general joiner, so we'll clean it up on the joiner as well. Now, what I always did with this stuff, because I had cut a piece of this up, making small boxes, so I only need lid size, which was usually 7 or 8 inches long by 2 or 3 inches wide by 1/4 inch. But what I want to use some of this for, I mean, when I look at that that looks like there's got a ton of birdseye in there. I want to use this for making saw handles. Now I'll just show you real quick what I mean. There's one there in the finished stage. See that nice birdseye? It's gorgeous stuff. So I need 1.25 inch in thickness. Actually, I need to finish 1 inch, so you usually end up cutting 1.25 inch. I gotta turn the air on. I'll talk a little louder so you can hear me. So, I think the thing to do, if we were to rip this right down the middle, I'm trying to decide in looking at this whether or not we should cut it in thirds, or if we split it right down the middle, and then we're able to make cuts like this. I want to almost make the cuts parallel to those growth rings that you're seeing right there. This one, just because of the shape of the log, looks like it'll do fine too. So what we need to do is get a mark down through the middle. And it's not perfectly flat on the bottom, but I can guess at that. So we'll come up there. Now, if you cut boards and leave it in the rough form, it's about 1 year per inch to dry. This is not slabbed out, so I have no idea what to expect, but I know they were cut a long time before I got them. And I've had it downstairs in my shop where I control the humidity. It's been at least 15 years, so this stuff might actually be dry enough to use. Now, the line doesn't look like it's... Okay, well the tree just kind of grew kind of odd. My square isn't quite long enough, but I can guess at it. What I'll do is I'll get this cut, and then I'll take it over to the joiner and flatten it off. Now this has got a 5 horsepower motor, so it's got lots of power. Not worried about that. And if you haven't seen our video, what we did on the dust collecting system, you got to check that out. Nice way of eliminating almost all the sawdust. all those peck marks. It's got a big old, what do we call that? Bark inclusion right there. So we're only going to get small stuff out of it anyway. But these are all your bird's eyes, but you're cutting them parallel to the bird's eye, so that's what it ends up showing up like. And we want to be perpendicular to this. Now I'm going to, just for the sake of making it a little easier to handle, I'll put that flat side up against the fence. After I bought this joiner, I put in a bird cutter head, segmented cutter head. Smart move. Probably the best thing that's ever happened to joiners. In case you're wondering, I've got a 2 horsepower motor on this. I bought a big 3 horsepower used that I'm going to put on it whenever I get time. I'm not going slow for a reason. It's a hard switch. Okay, that'll give me enough reference surface. Now, the question is, how do we safely hold it up like that to make our cuts? Again, without wasting any wood. Could run this over the joiner. Run it like that. I'm a little concerned about what's inside this pocket, as long as there aren't any rocks or dirt. Dead squirrels. To knock this point off. I'll get started with the plane, and then I'll finish it on the jointer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fasten a piece of plywood to it so that it will sit upright like this, and we can run the plywood against the fence on the bandsaw, and we can slice this off. But in order to get this, I want to, before I try to do this on the jointer, instead of resting on a point, I'll just take my plane to it. And get somewhat of a flat spot. Jade, come over here for a minute and just, actually never mind, I can just put something on here. What do we got? A chunk of, hand me that piece of MDF, skinny one. Mickey Mouse, but it saved me running across the other side of the shop to get another clamp. Now I've got that blade out quite far. I want to make sure that it is parallel to the line I drew. Jake, turn the air on, please. A bit precarious. Too much in terms of screw holes. So we're going to set it like that. I should straighten out say hi to?
No.
Are you sure?
There would be too many people. I'm not feeling safe anymore.
What?
I'm not feeling safe anymore. Yeah, let it go.
Okay. Yeah, I can put that on there. That up. Shoot, measure tape.
Trigger.
plywood, 25 by 7. Okay, give me a second to cut that up and then we'll pick it up right there. Okay, just like that. Now, this is hardwood, so I'm thinking we can get by with 3/4 inch screws. Plywood's a half. 1/4 inch into that maple with enough of them should be fine. And that's, shoot. Get it close and then I'll reset it. What I want to make sure is that when we make these cuts, that's too high up. I've got to lower that. Actually, it'd be smarter to do that with a clamp. So I'll get it where I want it. Frick, if you can eyeball this. I want this outside edge, as best you can guess, to be parallel to the piece of plywood. You know what I mean? If you were to look down there.
Yeah.
Say when. There?
No, back some. Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit more. Okay, so I'm trying to line up these growth rings. You can't see them on this side, and that side, which is a clean cut, you can a little bit better. Now, don't want this coming apart on me halfway through, so make sure I get enough. So now what we'll do, raise this up. This is going to be over. Turn around this way. First pass I need to take is just to clean this up. So probably right about there, get rid of that bump. So I need to be from the blade to the fence 6 3/8 of an inch. Now this bandsaw didn't come with a fence, and the blade is new, and my friend that makes bandsaw blades told me that today's blades are, the set is accurate enough that you should be able to just keep your fence parallel, in this case to the miter gauge slot, and it'll run true. Now to make that easier, I'm going to go 10.5. What I used to do was draw a line on a piece of wood, a straight line, and then start feeding it through by hand and watching for any drift one side or the other. And once you went in 3 or 4 inches, you would just shut the machine off and you would make your fence parallel to that line, because that was the true direction that the blade was going to cut. Those who know say you don't have to worry about that anymore. We'll find out. 10.5. 10.5. try this. That's enough of a flat. Allow me to joint this. That's all right, it's going back. Better than you can clean it. So we got some, actually a little bit of curly figure in there. There's your Birdseye down there. Take another couple passes. I knew there was going to be checks in there. There may be a lot of them. It may end up we get nothing out of it other than some box lids. Now I can take off this piece of plywood, square an edge to that face, and then set the fence for whatever thickness boards we want. Stop ripping off some slices. I think I'll take a full inch. Give me a second to get this set up. Might be able to straighten it out a bit. Lucky if I get a box top up. Inch and an eighth at one end, and I might have 3/4 in the other. I've seen better. I would have thought we'd have had a little more figure. What was Forrest Gump's quote about life being like a box of chocolates?
You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know what you're going to get. You cut into a Birdseye Log and you never know what you're going to get. That's improving. Problem is, you got a great big check here, you got a check there, you got a check running down through there. You'd be hard pressed to find anything of any size. Should have been cut out long ago. Well, it was still green. Same there, so I'll go 9. I'm going to try doing this one just freehand. I drew a pencil line on there. I've got enough of a flat down there. I went and cut that other side. There really wasn't any figure on that side, so that'll give me enough to reference on the table. See if we can't get this thing to cut straight. lines are some spalting. That's the other reason why had this, when it was green, been cut up, stickered, dried, you wouldn't have had that. But moisture lays in there and starts to break it down. It's still usable wood, as long as you don't mind that. So that's some pretty good birdseye right through there. A nice little patch over there as well. Not as much as I would have hoped, but still have 3 more pieces of log. Anyway, let's make one more cut. Finish up. I'm going to run this one over the joiner and see what we got. I got 2 bad checks there, so I can flatten this side and not lose anything. I don't want to take much off the opposite side. That's where all the bird's eyes are. So what I'll do is straighten this first. That down to 6.5, 6 3/4. I'm going to take 1 1/4 slab off of this. Or inch and a. Actually, you know what? I've got to have it squared up here anyway in order to put a mark on there. It won't be any good if I don't have full width out of the corner. So. rest of that into thin pieces for boxes. I think I might be able to get a couple of saw handles out of this one. A little better than an inch. So it wasn't the greatest yield out of a log that was half a log that was 25 inches. Actually, I still have that other section. But I mean, the closer we got to the center, this is the hardwood, the brown. Sapwood is the white. But still, that's some pretty good birdseye. That's not bad board. Hopefully get a few more out of it. Anyway, that's Birdseye Maple from New Brunswick. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.